Hi, it's Travis White with the Persuasive Communication Tip of the Week. People ask me why I don't carry a Blackberry, and the answer has a lot to do with persuasive communication. As we've mentioned in the past, the first thing you want to do in a persuasive communication is establish a level of trust with your audience. According to Greek rhetoric, there are at least 4 ways to establish trust. The first is to show respect for your audience. You show up on time, you're well prepared. The second is to show that you share the same values as your audience. You can do that through your behavior or by talking directly about your values. The third is to show that you fit in with your audience. You share the same experiences and you see the world the same way they do. And fourth, you want to show that you have the audience's best interests at heart. Now, there's nothing wrong with a Blackberry per se, but the way the Blackberry is often used violates that very first principle of respect for your audience. So let's say you send me a Blackberry message, and at the end of the message it says, "Please excuse typographical errors, grammatical errors. Please excuse the brevity of this message. It's sent from a Blackberry." What does that say? That says to me that you think your time is more valuable than my time. You're not taking the time to correct your errors. You're not taking the time to provide the context which can make a message more understandable. You're shifting that burden onto me. So you're disrespecting me in a way. You're saying that your time is very important. You don't have the time to clean up your message. You don't have the time to fix errors. It's up to me to do that. Now, that establishes in me a negative emotion. I'm annoyed. I'm irritated. And the thing to remember about emotions is that people remember them for a long time. We know that today there are people who are arguing about things that happened hundreds of years ago. They may not remember the facts, they may not remember the logic, but they certainly remember the emotion. So if you do that to me a number of times with your Blackberry, you send me messages that are so terse, I have a hard time interpreting them. They don't have the context, so I don't know what they're referring to. Perhaps they have typographical errors, perhaps they have errors that change the meaning or make it more ambiguous. You're shifting the burden to me. That creates a negative emotion in me, and if you do that multiple times, over time you're going to become less persuasive with me. So let's say you've done this several times, and then you send me a message asking me to do something. You want to persuade me to do something. And I remember, perhaps subconsciously, that you've treated me less than respectfully over the past number of messages. So I'm less likely to be persuaded by your request because I harbor negative emotions based on the way you've treated me in the past. So yet again, we find that it's not just what you communicate that's important. How you communicate is extremely important. It may outweigh the actual content of your message. And remember that people will forget what you say. They will remember how you say it. And a thoughtful communication is much more persuasive than an instant communication. That's a Persuasive Communication Tip of the Week. See you again next week.